Britain's railway.
We are first to announce section 18.
The oldest and one of the busiest in the world.
It's okay, thank you.
Just slow down, slow down.
Surely this is illegal to be packed in like this.
A huge network under constant pressure.
Absolutely mental today.
No driver.
No driver?
Come on, guys, look for the driver in guard.
Where anything and everything
Start tampering, son.
can mean delay and chaos for thousands.
Backs against the wall.
He's got a suicidal female on board.
Train now 90 late, owing to hitting a pheasant. I've heard everything now.
Filmed over a year across the nation,
Where's that one, fella? That one. There's a seat next to banana.
we go behind the scenes of an industry we all love to complain about.
Do you want a hand?
Well, no, that's 323.50.
With the railway people determined to keep Britain moving.
Infinity, and beyond.
Into battle.
All the way down, come on, every inch counts. And you all look gorgeous. They're phenomenal. Seen some lovely Christian Louboutins today. I've been a bit jealous of them, to be honest. I love Christian Louboutins.
Ladies' Day at Aintree Racecourse.
Feel lucky today?
And the railways of Merseyside are awash with colour.
I can't pronounce that top one.
Absolutely fantastic. That'll do me.
Absolutely fantastic.
For this one day every year, MerseyRail's 59 electric trains take the strain of 50,000 racegoers.
Welcome to Aintree, welcome to Aintree. Please have your tickets ready for inspection in order to leave the station.
Have your tickets in your hand for a speedy exit? Speedy exit from the station guaranteed with your tickets in your hand.
All of them guided smoothly through by the voice of station announcer Chris Bowden-Smith.
They think it's a mirror, and we have a lot of fun where they adjust their hair and adjust their lipstick whilst looking into the window because they think it's a mirror. They are particularly nice, but I'm afraid it's rather lost on me because I'm gay. I'm looking at the men. And if there's a problem with the trains, I can slip in a mad word like the trains are late due to shot spotification, and nobody will have any idea what it means, but it sounds very convincing.
Sorry, I'm really sorry I have to take that from me. You can't drink.
We hope you have a great time today, but would like to remind you that no alcohol can be consumed on the MerseyRail network.
If we consider you to be unfit to travel later, we may refuse you access to our network.
Work for a return journey.
Come on, move all the way down, please.
Right to the end of the platform, please.
We don't allow drunks on the railway. It's a no-go situation. Come on, all the way down. Squidge, squidge, squidge. A young girl died just a few months ago. She fell between the train and the platform, and that's not something we ever want to happen again to anybody. All right, calm down, don't push, you'll get on. On days like this, you can feel the pressure. You've got a lot of people's safety in your care. They're your passengers. You've got to look after them and look out for them. Thank you.
Guys, you just speed it up a little bit. Left or right for Liverpool. Go either way. Left or right.
Passengers must remain behind the yellow lines at all times until the train has come to a complete stand.
Please do not cross the yellow line until the train has stopped.
I end up, after all this time, feeling a little bit like a robot. As long as it sounds convincing, that's the important part. It's got to get across as sincere. I wouldn't want it to sound like I was being completely false. So, if you can fake sincerity, you've got it made.
A 150 miles away in South Wales, Mobile Operations Manager Joel Morris is trackside near Bargoed.
Seem to have made a mess in here, don't they? Well, they've broken in and they've cut every bit of cable that's in here. Quite a lot of damage, as you can see.
Joel's part of Network Rail's incident response team in the Welsh Valleys. He's checking out damage by vandals to this newly installed telecommunications box.
They must have forced their way in through the door first and just ripped out everything that was of value. Copper is nearly £3,000 a tonne, I should imagine. That's the incentive. Even though there's lots of power going through these cables, they'll risk it for the outcome, for the money. The air conditioning unit has been taken as well. Everything of value. 70, 80, 100,000 pounds, I should imagine, to redo this all out again.
Decades of industrial decline have led to high levels of deprivation and crime in the valleys. And with more than £1 million lost to opportunist thieves and criminal gangs every year, the railway is one of the biggest victims. But trains are crucial to the region's revival.
Does anybody want to mention the mighty Manchester United? No? No? You don't want to mention... Do you want to mention the mighty Manchester? Yeah. Rolling again. Number 20 coming up. Oh, we have that.
5 years ago, the Ebbw Valley didn't even have a railway. The line was cut in the 1960s.
We're late. Minute late. Not good.
But now the area has been thrown a lifeline. An hourly service that connects passengers from more than 10 communities to jobs in Cardiff.
Return, yeah? When we first came up here on the route, and we're going through the stations, and they're like watching you and they're going, they can't believe they've seen a train, because it's been 40 odd years since they've had a train, you know? Lovely. Thanks very much.
Train conductor David Williams has worked the line since it reopened.
Morning, fellas. Hi. A lot of these people know me on here. Lovely, thank you both. Come on in. You can walk through that door and you can make or break someone's like day. You know, you can go through there with a right foul mood and they're in a bad mood then, you know. All right, buddy. Lovely, thanks a lot. Hello. Hello there. All right, buddy.
And that was the seats.
Whereabouts was it?
On the floor, and the seat quite close to the second door, yeah.
Right, we better hand that in, Cardiff. Valley life, you see it all. There was a lovely lady down Romsey who used to sunbathe topless out the back. That was very nice. But again, you only get a passing glimpse. You're not there for it. You're not there for them. You can't put the emergency brake in and just stop it off the train. See the state on certain people's back gardens. I'm not kidding you, honestly. I thought my back garden was bad, but I've seen some of the state on some of them.
The return of the railway has had a huge impact on the local economy. In Ebbw Vale, new hospitals and schools have been built, and the hourly trains now carry 55,000 passengers a month, more than double expectations.
I was working in Cardiff, driving back and forth, costing over £200 a month. So, you know, from that aspect, it's a lot cheaper than what that is. To be fair, it's a lot less stressful as well, and then the driving to Cardiff, you know. Yeah.
There we go.
We need a trolley dolly. Someone's serving food.
They're just lovely, lovely down-to-earth people. No problems when it comes to paying. They're just really nice, good, solid people. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Your next station stop will be Cardiff Central, where the service will terminate. All change, please, all change.
There we go. See all the smiling faces coming off now.
As well as taking care of 1.3 billion passengers every year, the railway has a responsibility to 5 million people who live next to its tracks. In the Midlands, trains pass over and through city life, across one of the biggest stretches of urban railway in the UK.
You put a call in recently regarding a wall or an issue with the loose, unsafe bricks on a wall on the railway to Network Rail.
Maintenance manager Alan Edge has a tough job keeping trackside neighbours happy.
Mr. Koziel.
Thank you. Bless you.
Mr. Shepherd.
Thank you very much.
I deal with fencing, fly tipping, issues with trees overhanging people's gardens, vandalism. I've had people ring up and they've wanted to spread their relatives' ashes on the railway line. You name it, we get them all. So it's never a dull day for me. Have you got all the gloves and everything, Ian, please? You got all the gear, whereabouts is it?
Fly tipping is a constant problem, and today's task is to remove rubbish from this railway bridge in Handsworth.
The people them come from all over the place and dump the rubbish there. It's all over the city, I think.
Yeah.
But we'll do the best we can, yeah.
Okay then.
Okay. What we're doing today, as you can see from on the side of the wall, there's a lot of fly tipping that's been chucked over the fence. Our intention today is to remove that, but the most important thing is we do it safely, okay? So if you see anything, like a needle or anything like that, you stop the job immediately. Say needle, step away, okay? Let's go. This is the line from Soho to Perry Bar. It's quite a heavily used route. I mean, if people can see that, we'd have a pretty dim view of Network Rail. What we've got to be mindful of in this area is it is a known drug use area, so we do find a lot of sort of, drug paraphernalia, if you like.
Alan and his team are responsible for 300 miles of land next to the track, and the theft of vital signalling cables is a major headache.
They strip the wire out, and by taking the sheathing off, it increases the cost of the copper. They just rob it off the track, which is why we have so many track problems, and they've just lobbed it over the fence.
Look at that, the needles on it and all. There we go. This is the hazards that we face when we're out doing this sort of stuff.
Network Rail spends £2.5 million every year on clearing rubbish that's been dumped on the railways.
It's not just about the track, it's about the whole railway. We need to maintain all of that, and that's what we do. But it's like painting the Forth Road Bridge. Test all tools are working prior to accessing the track. Done.
The tracks near RAF Cosford are another problem area for Alan and his colleague Daz.
Okay, look out. Yeah. Thank you. We've got a sports field here, and there's quite a lot of signage telling people to not let the dogs foul the area. They are going to the trouble of bagging it all up. Unfortunately, they're discarding it on the railway, throwing it up the bank. Quite a good throwing arm. Quite impressive. Until you have to go and pick it up. You gotta love this job, man. I love my job. But you reckon, Dad? Our guys are going to work on the track, and they're going to be working in and around this sort of stuff. That's not good. It's got to be sorted. Because the annoying thing is, you'll never find out who's doing it. I wouldn't mind betting that the dog walking community are a bit of a close-knit thing, and they'll defend themselves. We'd rather be doing other things, keeping the trains moving. That's our main job. It's frustrating. It's a piddly job, isn't it? That smells nice, Darryl. Ugh.
Have a ticket to passage, please. Thank you very much. You've got to purchase your ticket before you get on the train. Okay? You can't get on our network. You can't just jump on the train and purchase your ticket on the train, right? There's posters all on every station.
As well as restricting alcohol on the network, MerseyRail apply a zero-tolerance policy towards fare evasion.
So I'll really look as if I need to jump the train. You don't put a ticket machine on that side of the...
Don't need to, sir, because it's signposted.
What's signposted?
What I'm going to do is take £1.50
When was the last time you couldn't go on a train and buy a ticket?
9 years ago.
This is crap. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll pay the fine. I don't want to write in.
Okay, the full fine's £20, love.
That's 20 quid.
Okay, do you want to put the signature there, love?
Not really.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, this shite.
Last year they handed out 15,000 penalties and prosecutions to passengers travelling without tickets.
Everyone gets treated the same way and fairly. There's no discrimination against anybody.
Doesn't matter if you're wearing a tracksuit or a suit, you get treated the same way.
Everyone's the same, yeah.
At Merseyside's Ellesmere Port Station, some passengers are claiming that the station's ticket machine isn't working.
Why did you go and get a proper lady to stand there and write tickets out instead of a fucking shitty machine?
What's your language? Do you want to stop your language?
Well, you say you're calling us three liars, but the machine's not working, so we're getting a fine.
I've got procedures to follow and I'm following the procedures.
Just fucking walk then with me, come on.
Get your hands off me.
Just go. Stay away from the bird. But you're saying it's working?
Yeah, and I've just found out it's working. That's what the appeal process is, my love. Listen, am I swearing?
Because you're stressing me out, that's why.
You're paying the full fare, are you?
No, I'm paying.
No, 150.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds. If you just calm down, we'll get it done quicker, won't we? For the last 15 years, I've only ever had confrontational jobs, yeah? I've only ever worked in security firms. I've only ever done door work, door supervisor work. And I don't mind a bit of confrontation every now and then because I feel like I'm not the biggest fella in the world, so my mouth generally has to be my biggest asset. Do you know what I mean? Talk my way out of it or bluff my way out of it, one or the two.
It's not that I don't pay.
Yeah, no, and I'm not disputing that you don't, my love, do you know what I mean? Unfortunately, though, I have to issue you a penalty fare notice, yeah? There is an appeal process and all like that. I've got a little 4-year-old girl at the moment, and I've got another one on the way. You had to walk past the ticket machine to get onto the station. I will penalty fare people with kids. I don't particularly enjoy it. If they generally haven't got the money to pay, yeah, I can understand that, but if I don't do my job, I'll end up not having a job.
Where are you travelling to?
Kira worked as a mental health nurse before she joined the railways.
Just sign there for me, sweetheart, please. So it's going to cover you to Birkenhead Central. Okay, so you need to get upstairs. There you go. All right. Some people will put waterworks on to see if you've got a heart or not. And then other people will just generally upset. You have to weigh each situation up as it comes. Everyone's different. You get told every different story.
Basically, I'm running late for the train, so to peg it down.
My job is to be as sympathetic as I can, but also get the job done, make it look fairly, because some people just do lie just to try and get off of it, and that's not fair on the passengers that pay. I don't know, address check, please. I've had a gentleman that his dad's died every day for nearly 6 months, and he cries, but he can't die every day, can he?
Each year, more than 600 million passengers use London's 357 stations. And at the heart of the capital's network stands King's Cross, gateway to destinations across England and Scotland.
Now, as quick as you like.
Late afternoon, and staff on the East Coast route to Leeds and Edinburgh are limbering up for another evening rush hour. But 20 miles north, there's a problem. A drunk trespasser has jumped onto the tracks at Welling North Station and is heading towards tunnels at the end of the platforms.
Got the person, but they're just checking the tunnels at the moment. There's a problem with the tunnels, they're checking the tunnels. But the emails are not coming very...
For King's Cross Control Room, it's the worst possible news.
Trespass has been reported walking to the Welling Tunnel. Obviously we don't want somebody hit, so all lines are stopped at the moment until they say it's all clear. It's our peak time trains really that we're concerned about now. The 1700, 1703, 1730 are all stuck north of the area. It's already 25 past 4, so we need those trains heading towards King's Cross very quickly.
Leeds has been cancelled. We apologise for the inconvenience.
As well as delaying trains arriving into London, trains can't leave. And the 1630, which is now full and ready to depart, has just been cancelled.
In relation to your question, you should be possible to catch another service with that ticket. Once this train's left, we're obviously going to inform all the train guards for the other services to let them know what's happening here today. Then hopefully they should allow all these other tickets for this service to be boarded.
I don't like the word hopefully.
Neil, they've given us an all clear on one of the tunnels, but the person's been reported, they may have entered another tunnel, so there's a DTM down at the moment checking the area.
There are 28 million incidents of railway trespass every year, resulting in 15 days' worth of train delays.
When a train doesn't run, like we've just cancelled one, I have to seek permission for a train to stop additionally, so we can get people home a bit quicker. Anyway, they've agreed that I can have 2 stops extra on the 1703. And that's basically, I have to write out a bit of paper that gives the driver permission to stop at these extra stops.
At the moment, these trains I have here are subject to delay. What happens if it's cancelled? If it's cancelled, then allow you on one train before and one train after.
You know, we have to recognise the fact that people, come for a train, and when it gets cancelled, it means that they're going to be half an hour late home. So we can make that any better for them, we will do it.
Yankee 86.
Yes, okay.
R1703.
An hour later, news finally comes through that rail staff in Welwyn have located their man, sound asleep by the tracks in one of the tunnels.
The stops are already on, so as soon as you're ready to board, let us know.
That's an additional stop order for the driver. Can you make sure that the driver gets that, please?
All lines are open again on the main line, all right?
After more than 2,500 minutes of delay to 168 train journeys, evening rush hour can begin.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Due to an earlier trespass incident in the Welwyn area, this service will call additionally at Grantham and Retford.
There are 6,500 level crossings on the rail network. Barriers designed to keep cars and pedestrians safe from high-speed trains. In the last 10 years, they've been the scene of 200 vehicle collisions and more than 80 deaths. And in 2012, Network Rail was fined £1 million for health and safety breaches after the death of 2 schoolgirls at a level crossing in Essex. As a result, they've embarked on a major drive to reduce the risks.
The safest form of level crossing is a level crossing that's closed. If you're putting a person in front of a train, it's a risky business. So the safer we can make that by closing it or building a bridge, the better.
Where bridges can't be built, crossings are being modernised. And here at Mitcham in South London, new road barriers have been installed. But one thing the technology can't change is the behaviour of the public.
There we go. And that one's just jumped straight through the lights. They could potentially be looking at a prosecution for careless and inconsiderate driving.
Chris Shepherd of the British Transport Police monitors the crossing from a surveillance van.
We've got someone running across there when the red lights are flashing, so you've got sort of people that just obviously know they shouldn't be doing it because they're running across purposefully. And there we go, the cyclist as well. You get people jumping the lights, you get people weaving around the barriers, you get people trying to scoot underneath the barriers. We've had people lifting pushchairs over. Actually, that could have been a really nasty incident. If they've mistimed that, it's quite easy that they could have potentially been hit by a train.
Next in line for modernisation is the Causeway crossing in the Oxfordshire village of Steventon.
At full speed, they're anything up to 125 miles an hour through here. You don't want to be in contact with any trains going that speed. Hello, Dolly. Yeah, very well, thank you.
At the moment, Alan Wadley manages the crossing from his box, making sure it's clear of vehicles and people before he lowers the barriers so that trains can pass. But in 2 months' time, Alan and the crossing box will be replaced by CCTV. Staff will monitor and operate the crossing from a control centre 30 miles away. Network Rail argue this will reduce the risk of error and improve crossing safety. But the Steventon villagers aren't convinced.
They use it all the time with small children who can sneak out there. It'd be nice to know that there was somebody in the box kind of looking over us. They just want to make sure it continues to be safe. Train, that's right.
The signalman just gives us that comfort that we don't think we'll be able to rely on somebody viewing a television screen from 30 miles up the road in Swindon. I think she wants you to throw a stick, Miss Sparrow.
Goodbye.
No, you're not going to make it. Sparrow, you're not going to make it. Right. The signalman would have seen what she was doing, known exactly where the train was, and if necessary could have stopped it. We're all set in our ways. We like our village the way it is, and to have an organisation as big as Network Rail just come in and upheave everything. It's united the village in a common cause. There's nothing like having a common enemy.
Are you getting on or
Yeah,
not?
Philo! Come on, quick!
Right, inside now, lads.
It's the weekend in Wales, but there's no respite for the railways.
Exit to the right, please, guys.
Today, the usual throng of commuters has been replaced by 65,000 rugby fans heading to an international match in Cardiff.
Thank you very much, thank you very much. It's a bit hectic, as you can see. It's a busy day. Thank you very much.
As well as regular staff, an army of volunteers have been drafted in, along with every train available.
Okay, folks, welcome to the 1 o'clock brief. Inward services, we've had 1,700 Newports, 1,200 Ebbw Vales, 1,400 Londons, 1,200 off the Midlands.
To coordinate getting tens of thousands of fans across Wales and from England, train managers, station staff and the British Transport Police have set up a control centre for the day at Cardiff Station.
That's it, end of the match. Based on radio signs to say the game has now finished and we're in full event operation. Thank you.
Minimum weightage. Next, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Please. 27 Swansea, HST.
600.
1632 Pompey, 4 car.
400. So we allocate 100 persons per car. So a Paddington service we know is a high-speed train, takes 600 people, so we can call 600 people from the queue, so that we're not overloading the platform or making it unsafe, basically. Go 200 West Wales to platform 4.
Can you release the West Wales queue? 200 to platform 4. Over.
Please confirm West Wales 200 platform 4.
Richard, 200 Bristol, platform 1, please.
Can you release the Bristol
Make
queue?
sure to stay in front of the
200 to platform 1.
Platform 1, please.
Go on the platform, we're right round the border.
Check the top and keep
Right to the Hello, Signal Cardiff, CMC at Cardiff Central. We're now good to go on platform 2, please, with 1 Whiskey 29 for Manchester. We're also good to go, please, on platform 3 with 1 Bravo 40 for Swansea as well, please.
Southport, Merseyside. And for the last 6 hours, thousands have been attending the town's annual Orange Lodge Parade. The biggest Protestant parade in England. Arrests for violence and criminal damage happen every year. And as the crowds head back to Liverpool from Southport Station, they're proving to be a handful for rail staff and the British Transport Police.
He slipped and missed his footing, and he's fell head first onto the platform.
Oh man, I want to go home. All the boys to eat formula. And you... How many figures? 822.
Can you have your tickets and passes ready? Cheers, love.
Ticket and passes, please.
Thank you very much.
To relieve pressure on the station, MerseyRail's revenue protection team have set up shop at the entrance in order to check tickets, confiscate alcohol and turn away excessively drunk passengers.
4 cans of beer in the baby's trolley.
I forgot to give a beer, sorry.
Alright, see you later.
You have a bit to drink today, my love? Yeah. All right. No problem. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to refuse your travel, all right? What I'm going to ask you to do is I'm just going to ask you to go and grab yourselves a coffee and then come back in a little while, all right?
What?
You know, if you've got to
Put
sit
the top
down
on
to
you,
it,
eh?
No. Just ask you to go and have a saver up a little bit and come back in a bit.
I don't need lectures.
I'm not here to lecture, my love. I'm really asking you to come back and saver up a little bit.
25-year-old Kat McGroarty drove prison vans before she joined MerseyRail.
Well, what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to go and get yourself a nice strong coffee and then come back in about half an hour.
I'm alright.
Okay. You are, but I can't allow him to travel in the states that he is, unfortunately. What I'm going to ask you to do, my love, is I'm just going to go and ask you to go and sober up for a few...
You having a laugh, aren't you?
No.
Oh my God, I've come here to enjoy myself.
And it looks like you have really enjoyed yourself today, but I'm asking you to go...
I want to get out.
So I'm asking you to go and sober yourself up. Tempers flaring. You know, if that's meant to drink, it's not them, is it? It's just a situation, it's not personal. They're just having a go at you for the uniform. You want to get home and let it all go over your head. Water off a duck's back. That's all you can do. Don't take it too personally.
Go and get
a coffee or something, please. Yeah, you can understand the point of view, love.
I want to go home.
I know you think you're alright, honey. That's your opinion, love. I've got a duty of care for you, alright? 4 times today I've stopped you.
Tickets, please.
Have you had a bit to drink today? Just a bit. Just a smidge.
Just a little bit.
Alright, love.
People want to talk to you when they're drunk, but they're not. They might be talking to you, but they're not listening to you.
I'm going on the train. Just a bit unsteady. Just a bit.
In a couple of hours, when people are more intoxicated, they're going to be more hard work. It's going to get worse before it gets better.
In the valleys, Arriva Trains Wales is looking to the next generation of train conductors to work the lines.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Come
on up, yeah, big time. Obviously, this is going to be your office.
As part of their 4-month training course, Lucas, Holly and Alex are at Canton Depot for some practical tuition.
The door should be closing.
That's a great start.
Broken door.
The Ebbw Valley line and stations might be new, but the trains are almost 30 years old.
Well, bear with me for 2 seconds. Fucking typical. None of this bastard thing is working. That's what I'm talking about. So, do you want to have a go at the doors? Yeah. Excellent.
1,600 applicants applied for just 9 places on the course.
6 years ago, I came from Slovakia, came for 2 weeks holiday, and decided to stay.
Squeeze on in.
I find Welsh people always welcoming, so I do feel like a big part of family when I'm with the Welsh people.
Guards heater, okay, it literally is slow, off or fast, okay?
What is the air conditioning?
The air conditioning is...
Is there air conditioning? I thought it was just boiling hot.
Just like that, okay? Air conditioning off, air conditioning on.
You do kind of transfer from being a passenger to almost being a train spotter. Be like, oh, that's 142 units, oh, that's 150, and telling your friends and family all about the railway, what you learn. So yeah, I would say becoming a railman pretty quickly.
Into locking device. Let go, good.
The new recruits learn emergency procedures, like how to manually operate points in the event of track failures.
That's going to be hard. If you don't want to do it, I'll do it. Leave it, leave it, leave it.
For 25-year-old Valley girl Holly Fly, it's a huge life change.
I did an art degree, took a gap year to have a baby, went back, finished it, started looking for jobs straight after. You know, I think a lot of people that I speak to who aren't employed, it's just really hard at the minute, so I feel really lucky and happy.
Just give me the release. Thank you very much. Bye.
My mum thinks it's brilliant. She calls me Thomas the Tank.
.5 p.m. in Southport, and the Orange Lodge parade is finally over. To prevent overcrowding on the platforms, the 2,000 stragglers wanting to get home are being held back and released in stages.
95% of them don't even know what they're marching for. Just a big piss up, isn't it?
Get ready, here we go. Here we go. I hope they've all got tickets. Whoa, 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 whoa! Shut up, you! Shut up! Shut up, you!
I don't know.
You're going with me now.
Watch careful, it's keep down! Shut up!
I've got a fucking ticket.
Why my son's a fucking sergeant from Liverpool? Well, you ain't travelling. You don't swear at me, pal. It's all right.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. All right, love. Hi, Joe.
I tell you what, Jeremy Kyle must have no audience today.
I know, yeah, they're all here.
I've only been in the job just over 12 months. I still come into work with a smile on my face. Ask me in another 25 years what I feel about the job. But up to now, yeah, I do enjoy it.
And Mr. Gibbs? Yes. Hello there, it's Alan Edge speaking from Network Rail. You've put a call through to our national helpline regarding something you want us to help you out with in the Gorsebrook area of Wolverhampton, is that correct? That's right, yeah.
Alan Edge has been contacted by the son of a former railway worker who wants to retrieve his father's ashes that were buried by the side of the tracks.
Where there should be a plaque on the wall and there should be a circle of stones and they should be under the circle of stones. Right, okay. When were they put there, do you know? Well, 18 years ago now, probably. That's excellent. Thank you very much, Mr. Gibbs. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. We have had requests before, but mainly to distribute ashes on the railway of former railwaymen who've passed away. We've never had to sort of recover any before. Well, I've had to put in the job description. I didn't know what to put, so I've had to put down recovering railway artefacts, which is probably not the right description, but it's the best one I could think of.
Although it's not something that's affecting the running of the trains, Mr. Gibbs wants the ashes retrieved so that they can be buried next to his mother, who's critically ill.
It's quite an important issue to Mr. Gibbs, so it's quite crucial that we try and sort of help him out if we can. We're supposed to be neighbourly, and this is sort of a neighbourly thing to do. Right, let's have a look at the picture. Oh. They're there. Oh dear. So you can see from the picture, there's the plaque. The ashes should be in this area here. Unfortunately, there's a new troughing route been installed, and hopefully they're deep enough so that they haven't been disturbed by the work that's been carried on here. Right, let's get to it. It's a special tool we use quite a lot on the railway. It's called a piece of wood. I think I've found them. Something sounds hollow. There. Oh, it's Roman vintage India tonic water. Quinine, apparently. Good for you. I'm determined to find it. I'm hoping it's still in one piece, to be perfectly honest with you.
In Steventon, the switch from a level crossing box to CCTV is well underway. But villagers facing the inevitable are digging their heels in over the look of their new crossing. And they've invited a team from Network Rail to come and hear their grievances.
The mechanism for this used to be behind and to the left of that warning sign. So it's moved, that's probably about 4 or 5 feet over, which has dramatically affected this view. You know, now you're looking at the grey mechanism.
And as you can see, we've got a floodlight more akin to an international football stadium and totally out of place.
A lot of the arguments have been arguments of aesthetics, and those arguments would not exist if the measures that we'd taken weren't there for safety reasons. So, for example, we've got fencing that has to be there because it prevents reflective glare and it prevents shadows being cast on the CCTV area. But people don't like the appearance of that fencing. But if we didn't have that standard of fencing, then it wouldn't be safe.
You could actually look at relocating the warning trespass sign, so that's not on a pole.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
People don't like losing their crossing keeper. People feel reassured by the physical presence of a man who's actually operating the level crossing for them. They think that it's safer, rightly or, well, wrongly, as it actually is the case. And therefore, any changes we make are going to be met with that kind of criticism, just as they would be if, you know, if somebody tried to do something to this school or somebody tried to do something to the pub.
Not every resident has come to the meeting. Dolly Rivers has lived in the village all her life, and her concerns about the level crossing have nothing to do with safety or aesthetics.
It's nice to have somebody to say hello to when you go over. They're always there to, you know, have a word with you, make you feel a bit better. It's never been without a man in the box. From year to year, from the old days up to now. It won't be the same, will it? I don't see why they should take them away from us.
Despite his best efforts, Alan's been unable to locate Mr. Gibbs' ashes.
Sorry, Stanley, we tried our best. And Mr. Gibbs? Hello? It's Alan Edge. Hello, there has been quite a lot of work gone on the railway in that area over the last few years, I suppose. Yeah. But unfortunately, I've been unable to find anything. The stones still there? The stones weren't there at all, no. Yeah, but I appreciate everything you've tried anyway. Okay, Mr. Gibbs. Well, thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you for everything. No worries. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, we should have given him some better news. Never mind. Listen, we tried. What can we do?
Think exactly what you need to tell the customers. Why don't you announce for customers to ensure to take with them all their personal luggage and belongings, and mind the step and the gap between the trains and the platform edge? Yes, as you were like.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our next station stop will be Cardiff Central. For all passengers, please ensure that they've got their...
Alex, you're going to the halfway stage.
Please make sure you've got all your bags with you. Bye!
Not very good, that, Alex, at all. Not professional.
Good morning, this is your Aviva Trains Wales service calling at Cateys, Queen Street and final destination Cardiff. Please take care as you train, minding the gap between the train and the platform.
That wasn't very good, was it?
It's hard to know what you're going to say.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on board of Arriva train service. The next station will be Cardiff Central.
Please change for any main line. Thank you.
Yay!
To think you've done it for the very, very first time, you've done pretty well, really, but you need to put a little more thought into
what you've got to tell customers on board the train, don't you? Try and avoid laughing and things like that. We'll all do mistakes, but if you start making an announcement and you feel you've done an error, stop, pause and think, redo it again.
In just a few more weeks, the new recruits will be working on the Valley Railways for real.
You'll be fine, but just do the job by the book, that's all we're asking of you. Just do the job by the book, and you'll be fine, no problems at all. This is what keeps me feeling young. Working with young people has definitely made me feel really not getting old, if you know what I mean. I'm going to miss some, obviously, but as a trainer, one lot goes. I'm looking forward then to the next lot, if you know what I mean. And that's what we need, isn't it? Future generations to keep the railway infrastructure going within areas like the valleys in South Wales.
King's Cross Station, London.
I'm booked till 11 o'clock, so just going to do that till 11 to Newcastle.
Everything's late coming in, so obviously it's going to be late going out. That's why you got all the delays coming up now.
We don't got a platform for it yet because it's not in the station, so we're waiting for it to come into the station at the minute. It's just outside, yeah.
After a bank holiday weekend, hundreds of passengers are travelling back up to the northeast and Scotland.
Any indication of how long that is going to be?
But dangerously high winds are playing havoc with the East Coast main line.
Where's the set for the 10:35? How far out? Yeah, I know that.
I don't know what we're using yet.
The problem we've got today is that a lot of our trains from up north are running severely late, which means that we've had to use trains from the depot that we wouldn't normally have used. So now we haven't got anything left in the depot. We are now having to wait for all these late trains to come in. Where's the nearest one? Potter's Bar, FO7. We've only got to lose one train, and then we play catch-up from then onwards all the time.
At the top here, train 1 Yankee 08, which was due here 9:32, is running 101 minutes late. Red delays anything over 10 minutes. Yellow between 5 minutes late and 10 minutes late. And green means on time.
So I will definitely get there today, but with
Some point you will. I can't tell you what time, but some point you will. Okay, I apologise. What was you booked on?
12:30, so
Right. Wait till near enough to time, but once you want to come and just get on it anyway. You got a problem, I told you.
If I'm on the train that's cancelled 11:05...
Yeah, get anyone. Which one are you going to? Where are you going to?
To Doncaster.
Right, get anyone you can, right, once it comes up.
I don't think it's worth cancelling that as yet. Hi, I've just sent you an email. We've got advice to passengers. Can you get Derek to announce it, please? Brilliant, thank you, bye-bye.
With the regular timetable abandoned, it's the job of 28-year-old station manager Katie Frost to explain to passengers what's going on.
On the hour and a half past
30s
to Newcastle.
Yeah, calling
And
there.
I don't know that yet. Graham Wright in the train plan now.
Okay.
And the 35 to Leeds. Obviously, because we don't know the stopping patterns, we can't make that much detail in the announcement. But can you make an announcement saying, please be advised, trains will be leaving King's Cross. You will be able to travel. Brilliant, thank you.
No worries.
I'm going to break the blue vest out. I'm going to go on the concourse and see how much abuse I get from passengers. Hopefully it won't be too bad. They all seem in reasonably high spirits. It doesn't seem too awful.
This is information for passengers travelling with East Coast train services this morning. Network Bell and East Coast would like to severely apologise for the delays and disruptions you are facing today. It is from the heart when I say it. I do mean I'm sorry. I've got to get home. I travel to Peterborough, so the apology applies to myself as well. Unfortunately, I've just got to stay here and work through it.
Okay, what happens tomorrow?
You can use your ticket tomorrow if you don't need to travel today, that's not a problem.
What about seats? With the seats?
You get your seat tomorrow, yeah?
Okay, thank you.
I've come to find out a bit more information about what's happening in Edinburgh.
The weather in Scotland has gone from bad to worse.
Passengers travelling north of Newcastle are advised to travel tomorrow. Tickets will be valid tomorrow.
Right. With high winds threatening to bring the roof off Edinburgh Station, it's forced to close. All train movements north of Newcastle have been stopped.
Have they given any estimate on
This is going to last all day.
Right.
Anybody going to Edinburgh, the trains are only going as far as Newcastle this morning. If you don't need to travel, travel tomorrow. Your tickets are valid.
So it's not going to run today. I would suggest your best bet is to go home, come tomorrow.
You should give people a refund of money.
I can take you over to see the grandstand representative. I think there's refund forms if I take you over. I'll take you over.
Take one of these, right? You're not going to get a free course meal or anything, you know what I mean? But they give you something back. Tower of London? You want to go to Tower of London now? Yeah. I want to go to Tower of London, mate. Take me with you.
We've run out of catering crew now, we've run out of drivers. They're all stuck up north at the moment, so we've got serious problems today.
You've no idea how long?
Nope.
We really are in a not too good a state at the moment.
Definitely no chance of making it to Scotland. Could
No.
I make it to Durham?
No, you only go as far as Newcastle.
So you couldn't go the extra stop to Durham?
Just for you? Just for Kat?
Suspended beyond Newcastle. Please note.
Okay, love. Check your ticket, please. Who do you support? Rangers. Not doing well at the moment, are they? Any scars or tattoos? You've got plenty. Bloody hell. Where do we start?
Stabbing wounds a lot.
Stabbing wounds? Bullet wounds? You had a hard life?
Yeah.
What's this one here? This one? Mum right hand.
Tracy on my willy.
Tracy on your willy? And if I hadn't stopped and questioned you today about your journey, how would you have paid? You'd have walked past.
Yeah.
At least you're honest, mate.
At Birkenhead Central Station on Merseyside, it's a busy but cordial morning for revenue protection staff John and Aaron.
What's happened?
Who was it?
Well, I'll give you, as long as you're alright, mate, I'll give you the bell in a bit. Alright, mate, see you in a bit. Sit down, mate.
Is he okay?
Yeah. Just covered in spit.
What did the lad look like?
He said he'd never seen him before. He's got off now, though, so...
Disgusting, isn't it?
At a nearby station, a colleague's been spat at after stopping a traveller without a ticket.
We all have a spit kit, unfortunately. DNA saliva recovery kit. A glove, your little swab, and your bag to put it in. And then pass it over to the police, and then they will do a test to see if they're on the database. You can catch all kinds of it, especially if it goes in your eyeball.
But I'd definitely rather be punched than spatter.
Yeah, just the way it is. It's life, isn't it? Unfortunately.
As well as spit kits, revenue staff are fitted with body cameras. They come in handy if an assault takes place.
This was an incident from last year at Liverpool South Parkway, one of our stations. A young couple travelling on child tickets.
You can't travel. Don't push me.
He's just not listening to anything I say to him.
Don't take your fingers on me. You're not traveling.
Where he gets quite irate, quite aggressive. He gets right up in my face. I've got nowhere to go with the barriers being behind me. He comes for me, as it were. My colleague gets in the way. But his girlfriend, who hadn't said a word up to that point, suddenly turns out to be like a Muhammad Ali. It connects with two right hooks to my jaw, so it's like bang, bang. So, I mean, it's quite admirable, stand by your man kind of stuff, but they're both completely in the wrong. We issue, or on a personal basis, probably about 1,500 fines, individual fines a year. I'll probably issue. If this happens maybe 10 times, then it's been a good year, I would say.
We would like to thank you for your continued patience and your continued understanding.
Just to say straight down to platform 2. Platform 2.
In the situation we are facing today. Please note passengers travelling stations to Newcastle. The train boarding on platform 0. Platform 0 is the 1300 East Coast service for Newcastle.
The delayed trains into King's Cross start to arrive.
Just come in literally only 5 minutes ago, so we've just been working hard to turn it around quickly, clean it, destock it, and get it away.
And despite Scotland being off limits, the job of clearing the backlog of bank holiday passengers heading for the northeast begins.
As soon as we know, it will be announced onto the main.
It's going to leave, mate.
We're going to start sending them out soon. As soon as we've got drivers and guards for those trains over there, they'll be announced and station will be cleared probably in about 2 trains. As soon as the train's announced, you'll be able to jump on it with that ticket. Just get yourself on any train that's going to where you're going. Yeah, that's no problem. Yes, you will be able to. Is that all right? Yeah, that's no problem. Okay, great. Thank you.
Right, next plan. Coffee, tea. What about it?
White, 2 sugars.
Right, I'm cracking on. Go to the information.
"1 a.m. at Canton train depot in Cardiff. Arriva cleaners, Andrew and Lynn, are about to start on the first of 35 trains they'll need to finish before their shift ends at 7.
You'll be surprised what you do find under the seats, and you think, my word, if that's how they treat their home, I dread to think, because this is for public use, so they should have a bit more respect. You have your feces on the toilet, on the floor. In here, you can have people's dirty pants where they've taken them off. Tampons we've had on the floor. It's all sorts.
This is a paper mask. Okay, obviously we have to use this if there's any sick on the set. This is a paper suit that'll go all over my clothes. Obviously to stop all the sick going onto my clothes. And obviously this is my goggles to stop the sick splashing into my face. When you're thinking about it, I think about the children that could be sat on the trains, and and people who've got their nice clothes on. So you do the best job you can for the customers. I've been doing this now for, I think it'll be my 9th year this year. I really do enjoy the job that I do. That's what gets me through cleaning the sick, and it gets me through the night. When you see a train and it comes in really bad, and then it's going out in the morning, and it looks very good, very clean, you just got a bit of pride in yourself. Let's just go see what's expected in the toilet.
Thanks to the reintroduction of the Ebbw Vale line, the Welsh Valley railways are thriving once again. And for the last 4 weeks, Lukas Seco has been looking after thousands of passengers that use them every day.
That's great, thank you very much. Here we go, thank you very much. I haven't had a day when I didn't enjoy myself, actually. That's great, thank you. In the month I've been out on my own. Every day is different. That's all right. That's amazing. Somebody would say to me this time last year, you couldn't work on the railway, I'd laugh. I would laugh at them. I'd be like, no way, that's not me at all. Hello, you're right. I can't think of anything else I would want to do.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Cardiff Central service. We'll shortly be arriving at Cardiff Central. This train will terminate. Thank you.
Slowly becoming a lost person.
Comedy on the way next tonight from Sue Perkins and her new series Heading Out. And her French ex is arriving unannounced. Break out the absinthe.